Here we are on the second weekend of the build of the Trail Buggy XJ. I got the driver's side seat mounted last night. Had to remove a little cross member that was in here. The chassis is, intended to be used with fixed mount seats that are a little smaller than these Baja XP seats. So I cut that out. I put in a new tube at the bottom. You can kind of see running across there. And then I'm gonna have to put a little bit of a multi-piece one here. You can see it runs up to the transfer case. I'll have another one on the other side for the passenger side seat. Then I'll make a loop. I'll make a loop to go over the transfer case. I've got sliders on here. Come up, come back. Plenty of headroom in here with it too. I like these. I went with the XP seat just because it's a higher back. I didn't like the lower profile seats out there. But we're gonna do the passenger side now. So here's the rear. Got the tabs on the mount. I got the front tabs on here. Go ahead and let me get the back end tacked, and then we'll do the tube for the front. All right. So I measured the driver's seat over here, and it is 3 5/8 from this edge of the mount to this outside bar. So we're going to set this passenger side mount up in here and then mark it where the tabs need to be. You use little 1, 2, 3 blocks and some washers to hold the front. Set this in here. Just a little bit. Oh, I'd hope I had a measuring tape with me. Go. So I've already got some little lines on the tabs here, just kind of line up the center of the tab. So I'll line up those marks with a mark I put on the tube. All right. Do one more check with the tape measure. Yeah, we're at 3 5/8. All right. Now we'll get it tacked in there. Alright, got the welder on. Go ahead and set this seat bracket back down in here. Come back. Check it, and we're good. Now I'll put a couple tacks on each tab, and we'll be ready for the front part of the mount. Alright, so now we're going to cut the tube for the front part of the passenger seat mount. I've already got it measured here. We're going to do 21 inches. And we'll set it in there just to make sure everything's good, and then we'll notch it. But went ahead and drew the mark right there. And I'm gonna use a portable bandsaw to cut this. All right, we got that cut. I like using the bandsaw. It's a lot cleaner cut than the cutoff wheel. Sometimes you don't get the straightest. You see that's kind of crooked there, but we're gonna end up notching this, so that really doesn't matter. All right, so we got the tube cut, and I went ahead and measured where the notch needs to be. I know that from the end of the tube to the inside of the notch needs to be 20 inches. So I went ahead. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a mark right there at 20 inches. Another thing to help whenever you're notching tube, especially, I mean, it really helps keep everything on plane, is if you're using this this welded seam tubing, it have this little dark mark here. You can see that's where the seam, the weld is inside of it. But line that up with, I've got this little cheap Harbor Freight notcher. Just kind of keep that in line with the inside here, or you can put a little mark. I've got a little mark there. I think I used it one time. I would line the seam up with that little silver mark there. But we're only going to do one notch in here, so we really didn't matter what we align it with. But the edge of the tooth, it's right there on that. You can see how crappy this Harbor Freight thing is. That bushing keeps coming out. But go ahead and get this sucker notched. Alright, there we go, we got it notched. And one of the downfalls of this Harbor Freight notcher is that it's also not aligned very well. I have shimmed it, but apparently it's not shimmed enough to where it notches right in the center. You can see it a little bit, but a little bit of work with a grinder and that'll be good. So, got the front tube notched in here. Now I got it marked where it needs to be, right here, to be lined up with that one. Make sure that it's square, and it is. Make sure that it's at the same angle here. This is sitting at 90. This one is right at 90. So we're level. Now, go ahead and tack the tube in. Alright, so I got the seat adapter put on the sliders. I'll go ahead and put it in. Put it in the back first. The front will drop down. Let's slide this back a little bit and we'll hold it in place. Keep it kind of resting in between there. Okay. Seat's in there. Our seat bracket's in. Now we'll put the actual seat in. See how it fits. Alright, so here's a little bit of update of today's work. I ended up getting all the seats mounted in and the fuel cell mounted. Had some people come over, so I didn't do a lot of recording. But you can see the rear seat. It's just mounted with little seat tabs onto the tubes back here. And then the fuel cell, I ran another bar. I actually used the bar that I cut out of the front of from the front seats. use that, and then I'll just get some little body panel tabs welded to the bottom here. Kind of had to extend them. I'll have to clean that up so it doesn't look so ugly. Got the harness bars in. There's one for the rear, and then we got the front one there. Eventually I need to do an X brace as well. I don't know if I'll get that done this weekend or not, but I need to get that, as well as the seat belt tabs. Those need to go in, which means I'm probably gonna have to run something for the bottom. I may have to run another tube down the center so that it can hook into the seat there for the lap belts. And then for the front, actually I need to run a bar. I have to run on here for the 5th point. Front, we'll just have probably seatbelt tabs welded on the rocker panel there. I don't know where I'm going to put the 5th point at. I'm not sure where that's going to go. And then of course the shoulder harnesses, they're going to wrap around the harness bar there. I need to finish my little hoop over the transfer case. I've got that here. It'll go in right there to cover that up. You can see this tube is going to be in the way of the drive shaft, so I'm thinking I'm either going to do a drive shaft loop there, or just connect these bars into the main part of the chassis. I'm leaning towards connecting into the main part of the chassis because I've only got, I think there's only like 10.5 inches in between the seats, and 180 bend with that die the die that I have is going to be like a 11.5, so it won't fit in between the seats. So I may just get some short pieces to connect here and here. Looks like I need to do that. Get the X brace in. It'll come from here up and go to there. Can't go to the corner. It'll get in the way of the harness. But that's where my current progress is.